Welcome back to Singing Tips. Have you ever wondered why some singers sound like meek little kittens, whilst others sound like roaring tigers? Today, we're going to be diving into the reasons why your singing might have a childlike quality and how, by the end of this video, you'll know how to sing with more depth, strength, and power. Reason number one, you are a little girl, and that's perfectly okay, but you don't want to get stuck with that childlike, one-dimensional quality without any vocal depth and support underneath it. Number two, you're just a weak little kitten, and that can be for any number of reasons. It may be that you're lacking core strength, just because perhaps you've had an injury or you're just at that stage in your life where you haven't been doing as much movement and as much core exercise. There are lots of other reasons why your body might be a little bit weak, but I'll be able to give you some pointers about how important the core strength exercises are. Number three, this one's a biggie. You're a scaredy cat. Most of us are fearful of singing in public and being judged about our singing, and fear can lead to lack of commitment, which also leads to a lack of using your support muscles. So again, I can give you these exercises in a moment which will help you address those feelings of fear. The fourth reason could be that you're a copycat. So you may well have a singer that you really, really admire and you have learnt to mimic their sound, and that can lead to, again, a one-dimensional sound, especially if that singer has a very high-pitched natural sound and you're trying to mimic that. Again, we lose the depth and the undertones in the sound that your musculature can bring. So having a coach who can listen to your sound and help you with exercises that will add depth and colour to your sound is actually really, really important, so that we don't just have this one-dimensional sound. And the final reason is that you're by nature a top cat. And that means that your voice is just naturally more high-pitched, and that's how you're put together. You can't change your physiology. So if you are a small person with a smaller larynx and therefore your vocal cords are thinner and shorter, your sound will naturally be more high-pitched. There's nothing you can do about that, but again, with some coaching, you can learn some exercises which will help you to balance that height with some depth, which will add extra colours to your voice. So don't turn off. I'm going to show you how to address all of those issues now. So you are a little girl. What we need to do here is make sure that your head voice doesn't become overly dominant, which tends to happen with very young singers. You need an exercise which is going to waken up your chest register. So what you can do is start in your upper comfortable head voice and sing sliding notes down to just start waking up that chest register and feel that chest resonance starting to come through. So if you pop one hand on your chest and start nice and high, and then you'll start feeling the resonance change into your chest register. And that's the feeling that you just need to be aware of. It's not about pushing it to make it happen. I don't know if you can hear my cat. He's singing away in his head register at the moment, letting everybody know how hungry he is and how mistreated he is, obviously. So again, just starting off in the head register, being aware that that's where your voice naturally wants to sit, and that's fine. And then feeling that shift into chest register. All you need to do as a young singer is be aware that you need to work on your chest register and not just on your head register. We need to just start doing some gentle work on the notes that resonate down here, and they will balance out the upper register. The second reason, the weak physicality affects all of us at some point in our lives. It can just be that you're tired and that your body isn't really working to support your sound as well as it usually does. And it's actually a really good idea to just do some general support exercises before you start singing, making them part of your warm-up. So just reminding yourself about these muscles around your ribs, your intercostal muscles and your diaphragm, and the lower muscles, the abdominal muscles, which support your sound. So if you put your hands around your rib cage with your fingers at the front so that they overlap the front of your diaphragm and your thumbs around the sides, and you take a really big breath and you do shoo, shoo, shoo until you've expelled all the air, you'll feel that the muscles really have to wake up to make that sound happen. Shoo! You'll feel all the musculature really starting to contract and support your sound. So that's just an exercise to get everything working a little bit better. I actually do some gym work and all that kind of thing. So you can add in actual strength training, which will actually really, really help with your singing. Number 3, you're a bit of a scaredy cat. Well, this also affects most of us at some time. Singing in front of people, or even just anywhere where you feel there might be any judgment about your sound, is actually quite terrifying. So, what it leads to is a lack of physical commitment when you're fearful. And again, you're singing with a very unsupported sound if you're fearful. Another thing that happens when people are fearful is that they tend to tip backwards because they're trying to physically distance themselves from the sound that's coming out of their mouths. And this is actually a really common problem for singers. So just make sure that your posture is really, really strong and that your weight is evenly distributed on both of your feet from front to back. And just make sure that as you breathe in, you keep that length in the posture and that you don't start to tip backwards. And then you just need to make sure that your consonants are really, really well iterated. Again, this gets your support working. So if your text is, I don't know what springs to mind, even if it's happy birthday to you, just practice saying the text in a very declamatory fashion. So again, taking a huge breath, getting this core engagement working. Happy birthday to you! And you'll feel your whole body come to the party. And that's how you need to sing your text. If you're fearful, you'll kind of mumble, happy birthday to you. So you need to kid yourself that you are bursting with confidence and sing in that really declamatory happy birthday to you fashion, and that will have all your core muscles working, and it also sends the message to your brain that actually you're a really confident person, you're really confident about your singing. So no more scaredy cat. It could be, 4th reason, that you're a copycat. This is really, really common in all singers, not just young singers. And it may be that you have an idol who you really admire their singing and you find yourself just singing along with them and not really anything else. And your voice can kind of just get stuck in that area that you're mimicking the other person. And it's fine to do some mimicry. I mean, that's how we all learn everything, really. We learn by copying others. But if that's all you're doing, again, you're not doing anything to balance that out. So if your voice is getting stuck up there, you need some exercises which will actually help you to add the depth that you need to balance it out. Your the vocal cords operate with 4 different sets of muscles, and they work in pairs and they're antagonistic. So as one lot of muscles is pushing, the other lot are pulling, and it's really easy to get that that delicate balance out of whack. And if you're just singing in one kind of area of the voice, then you're strengthening those muscles, but not really strengthening the antagonistic set. So it's really important to do something which will exercise the other end of your voice. So it could be that you add in some lower voice work. So the exercise that I was doing at the very beginning, where you start in your upper register, and moving down into the lower register, is a really, really good one. When you've done a few of those, you would then go the opposite way and try and carry that stronger sound from the bottom up into the upper register. So you might start with a consonant, moo, and get more into a sirening kind of sound, starting low, going up, and then coming back down. So use a consonant like a m or a k, to engage your support and carry the colours up from the lower register into the top register and then back down again. So you're waking up the whole of the voice, not just getting stuck using this little bit at the top. That also applies to number 5. You have a choice, of course, to use your higher register. If you're born just perhaps on the smaller side like I am, it's no surprise to anybody that I'm a soprano, because I'm really short and my tubing is really short and my larynx is really small. So I know that my vocal cords are smaller and thinner than somebody who's put together on a much larger scale. So I can't change the fact that my voice naturally is a high voice just because of the way I'm made, but I can do work at the bottom end to introduce power and strength and a better balance of color for the top end. So I do exercises like ya 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 ya, and where I really focus on the colour at the bottom end, which is why I reiterate that bottom note 3 times. Ya, ya, and I'm feeling that mix there now. I'm starting to feel that chest resonance kick in. Ya, 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 and going more into chest register. I'm probably not going to use that sound very often in singing. I wouldn't choose to sing a piece that uses those notes necessarily, because they're not particularly beautiful for me, but it is an important part of my voice that I have to exercise. And if I don't do the lower work, I actually lose some of the silvery quality at the top end of the voice. So it's really important, in a nutshell, to exercise the whole instrument all the way up and down, and not just end up with this light quality that you get if you only exercise the top end. Thank you for watching. Please drop me a comment, especially if you've been working on the bottom end of your voice. I'd love to hear the benefits that you've been finding from doing that. Please like, subscribe, share, consider joining and becoming a member, and also hop over to my website, Singing Lessons Online, where you can find more information and you can also purchase a lesson.